Hey everyone, Black Soul Reaper here, and I want to do a review of the most recent My Hero manga chapter, which is manga chapter number 277. And this was a pretty good chapter. Not as good as the last couple have been, but I feel like it's building up to, the climax of the battle. So the chapter begins where the last chapter left off when Deku and Bakugo, mainly Deku, comes in to save Eraserhead from Shigaraki's attack. And this is the first time that we've seen them go toe to toe in this type of way where they're, in combat. So, we're looking at the main villain versus the main hero. So, this seems like a climax type of battle where there will be a victor and a loser. I don't see any retreating or the good guys getting the win after this. But Deku comes in and there's and then the worst case scenario are being shown, and the worst case scenario is Deku losing his quirk from Shigaraki, and this is why Eraserhead and Gran Torino are shocked, because they didn't want his quirk to be taken, because then they have no chance against defeating Shigaraki. But Deku states, as long as Shigaraki's quirks are erased, we can join the fight too. So Deku's reasoning behind this is that since the Nomus are keeping the other fighters occupied, and which means there's not many heroes that can help assist and protect Eraserhead, so they need to join the fight and defeat Shigaraki right here and right now, because this is probably the best chance they'll have of beating him with his regeneration quirk, his decay quirk, along with the fact that he's as strong and durable as All Might. If they can't beat him now with the fact that his quirks are erased, they'll probably won't be able to defeat him, because I think even All Might at full power wouldn't be able to beat this version of Shigaraki. It would just be too hard to beat him at this point. So they need a scenario where his quirks are erased. So they want to protect their teacher, but at the same time they see this as their best chance at defeating him. So Deku states that the worst case scenario is losing our teacher, the teacher who has watched over us all this time. We can't lose him. And yeah, Eraserhead is an important character. I'm thinking of doing a video of why I think he won't die, and I'll give up to 5 reasons why I think they won't kill him off. I know some people are thinking he will get killed off, but I don't. I just think his quirk is too powerful, and they would need his quirk to defeat Shigaraki in All for One. So at first Bakugo shoots off a blast, and Shigaraki says, "Cute fireworks." So it basically has no effects. His blast has no effect on Shigaraki, and Deku is grabbing onto him with that whip quirk he had received from one of the former One for All, what would you call it, past users. So this is the only quirk he's been shown to use up at this point. I think there's like 9 other users, and once he can get in touch with those other users, he'll have gain access to some of their quirks, but he's still mastering this quirk. So they're not really able to add much to the battle. He's holding on to Shigaraki. Shigaraki's able to just pull him as if he's not being held back, and Shigaraki says, "Sorry, you're not on my radar anymore." And it looks like he's about to attack Bakugo, and right when that happens, we have Endeavor come in and just land a solid punch on Shigaraki, blowing him back, making him fall a couple times, and he lands on his feet. And Endeavor asks, "Where's Shoto?" And Deku states, "It's just us here." So at this point, it's pretty much Endeavor with Eraserhead and the people that are protecting Eraserhead that's been taken on Shigaraki. So based off 2 chapters ago, we know that that probably Endeavor can't defeat Shigaraki at this state. At this point, he's just a very strong high-end Nomu. And Eraserhead basically says, as powerful and sturdy as All Might. So at this point, this is like the 3rd time that Endeavor has stated that he's as powerful as All Might and as sturdy. So that lets us know that Endeavor definitely can't defeat him on his own. And Gran Torino says that body's beyond human at this point. And the person that's Manuel, who's supplying Eraserhead with eye drops, essentially, is saying, make sure to keep that scum away from us. So at this point, Eraserhead says, but as long as I don't blink, that power is all he's got, which is basically the power of All Might. And he states that I'll hold on for a good long time. So unless, you know, there's interference from the outside, Eraserhead should be able to hold on for a long time. I don't know what that means. Maybe a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Who knows in manga time, because, you know, we don't know how time works in terms of these panels. But he says a long time, which makes it seem like at least another chapter or 2, possibly 3, but we'll see. But that gives him an advantage. As long as, you know, it's 3 and he can't use all of his quirks, then this is the best chance they have. I mean, Bakugo and Deku are pretty powerful at this point. They do have the #1 hero, so 3 of them should be able to take on Shigaraki at this point. He's already pretty injured, but so is Endeavor. But let's continue with the chapter. So Endeavor says, for whatever reason you two are here, let's save the Y for later. And we see Shigaraki rush forward, basically saying, if I can scoop up Izuku Midoriya and get away from here, he can take All for One. And Eraserhead says, we're giving Eraser support he needs. We're giving Eraser the support he needs. Bakugo, you cover for Deku. So at this point, it's basically those 3 versus Shigaraki. And then a voice in Shigaraki head says, acquire one for all. And he's like, one for all? You will be mine, little brother. So Deku and Shigaraki are both shocked. They have a question mark symbol next to both of them. And Endeavor attacks Shigaraki with Hell Spider. And it looks like he's dodging all of them. And Shigaraki says, little brother, that wasn't me saying that. And he says, your will is too strong, master. This is my power, my body. You don't get to be some phantom voice whispering in my head. Back then, I thought about how the guy they called the Lord of Evil was defeated by the power of just one man. So he's a little frustrated at this point that his master lost to All Might, and so he's disappointed. He says, don't get me wrong, I'm real grateful for how you raised me up, but I don't want to be like you. I want to be greater than you. Shut the hell up, I control myself. So at first, when I was reading this chapter with a different translator on a different manga website, this whole part about someone talking, I'm like, what's going on? But apparently this is the vestiges of All for One that are still inside Shigaraki, because he did acquire his quirk factor, which is all for One. So when he says, you will be mine, little brother. Now, if you remember back when they first introduced All for One, we know that One for All was created by All for One, and he gave it to his little brother. And so when he says, you will be mine, little brother, he's just referring to the fact that a long time ago, the All for One quirk, or the One for All quirk was given to his brother. So that's why he says, you'll be mine, little brother. And so once Shigaraki gets rid of the vestiges of All for One, he says he controls himself. So at this point, Gran Torino comes in, lands a couple good blows on Shigaraki, and tells him, quit trampling over the memory of Shimamura. So that's his grandmother, who was All Might's teacher, who was the one who gave All Might All for One, or One for All. And Shigaraki doesn't even know who that is. So at this point, you know, I believe Endeavor comes in, or Bakugo comes in, and lands, you know, just a massive blast, probably the most powerful blast I've seen him do in this show. And it looks like he gets a direct hit, and in comes Endeavor and just lands the most powerful fist I've seen him land in this show. And it looks like it just rips through Shigaraki. From what I can tell, just flames are covering Shigaraki. Now this actually looks like a punch that could be the finishing blow, depending on how durable he is. But it looks like he gets a direct hit on Shigaraki with all that he's got. And we're shown this picture of All Might that says, "The symbol I strove to be, that isn't the path for you to follow." So Endeavor's trying to be the #1 hero in his own right, and he's using that memory of All Might to basically allow him to win in his own way. He shouldn't compare himself to All Might. It's okay to take support from other heroes as long as you're protecting innocent people and your comrades. So that battle ends with Endeavor landing that punch, and we move to the next moment where we have Mountain Lady holding back I forget this guy's name, but basically he's one of the more powerful, probably the most powerful assists that Shigaraki can have at this moment in time. I don't think any of the heroes could do anything to stop him except Mountain Lady. She's the only one that can pretty much, you know, at least stall him, or, you know, potentially beat him. I don't think she could beat him, but, you know, she can definitely stall him. So while that battle's going on, she's basically making sure that this guy doesn't come to help Shigaraki. And if you look closely on his back, if you can read if you go back and read the manga chapter, you actually see some League villain members on his back. So this guy is huge. I never really realized how huge this guy was, but this guy is insanely huge, and he's carrying a bunch of League members on his back. So if they're able to come and support Shigaraki, they'll probably have no chance of beating him. So they tell Mountain Lady to hold him back, and she says, "You don't got to tell me twice. He's not going anywhere." So apparently she thinks she can stop him, and that's where the manga chapter ends. I thought it was a solid chapter. We didn't get too much except fighting. The last couple chapters have been a lot of reveals. But yeah, it makes me excited for next week's chapter. I'm curious what's going to happen next. Let me know what your thoughts are on the chapter. Do you think that Shigaraki will get the reinforcements that he's looking for? Do you think that she'll be able to hold this guy back so that he won't interfere? Do you think that they'll get close to beating Shigaraki but just come up short? Let me know your comments in the comment sections below, and if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, subscribe, and thanks for watching, and peace.